So what is an open relationship? What is the best definition of an open relationship? You've heard many different definitions from many different people, from many different gurus about relationships, what an open relationship is, but you haven't actually had a clear understanding of what it is. So my goal for you in this video is for you to have a clear understanding of what an open relationship is, what it looks like for you, how is it practiced, how is it portrayed, what is the distinction between it and other formats of relationship, what is the difference between open relationships and polyamorous relationships. And if you were interested in exploring it, how can you explore it successfully, properly, and correctly, and happily, and most importantly, successfully in your relationships? These are very important things to keep in mind when you think about open relationships, to have a clear understanding of open relationships. Fortunately for you, I'm an advocate of and proponent of open relationships for many different years, well over a decade, and practicing it for well over a decade. I'm the author of Relationships 101. My name is Ron John. I have the course, The Perfect Relationship System, and I'm also the #1 Tantra therapy in the United States. So what is the distinction between an open relationship and any other format of relationship? I want you to be very clear about the definition so that you keep it in mind in a very simple manner. And when someone asks you, what is the difference between an open relationship and a closed relationship, you can spot it out in the back of your head. You have it in the back of your head. You memorize it. And the reason why you want to memorize it is because you want to know exactly what it is clearly, because when you know something clearly, you understand it fully, you're easily able to communicate it. And that is necessarily what I meant by memorizing. So the difference is that there's either a closed relationship and an open relationship. Logically, that makes sense, except most people don't understand that there's such things as closed relationship. Because closed relationship is exactly the opposite of an open relationship. But what is a closed relationship? It's probably the one you have now. The relationship you have now is probably a closed relationship. But what is it? A closed relationship is any relationship where individuals are not encouraged and therefore disencouraged, and therefore it would be an against their contract, against their agreement, a violation of their agreement, their social agreement, if they were to be attracted or indulge in relationships with people they like, they admire, they adore, they find attractive, and they find arousing. Now, I make these 5 points. I want you to pay attention to these 5 points, because these 5 points are the different levels that I've put in people, what they consider as a violation of their closed relationship agreement. Let's first go back to first principles. A social agreement is an agreement between people where it doesn't have to be legally backed. You don't have to sign a contract for it. You don't have to put your signature on it. You just agree upon a certain terms and agreements about something. What most people do when they enter into a relationship is they enter into a social contract. Remember, a social contract doesn't require signatures or it be lawfully backed. So when you start a relationship, what's commonly accepted is that when you say, oh, we're in a relationship, it's agreed upon that you would be exclusive to each other, right? It's never, hey, we're in a relationship, you never have to describe what it is. It's, we're in a relationship, period. So people don't understand. A relationship is one of the most commonly misunderstood things. A relationship is not sexual exclusivity or monogamy. A relationship is how you interact and interface with entities. My relationship with you, for example, is that you're perhaps someone who come across my video and find it interesting, compelling, find it helpful, find it helps you out. Or it could be more intimate than that, or it could be really intimate, depending on who you are. That is our relationship. That is how we interact and interface. Perhaps we barely have any relationship. You come across this video and you say, oh, pretty cool, interesting, and then you go on to the next video. That is our relationship. Barely any. Or someone you've come across, that is our relationship. So going back, a relationship between two individuals, when you are in a close relationship, some people consider liking someone, one level, liking someone, there's a relationship. Your relationship with someone is you like them. Perhaps you don't adore them, perhaps you don't find them attractive, you just like them. For some people, Liking someone is a violation of the agreement and constitutes jealousy. Do you understand? I want you to pay attention to this. All relationships stand to become better when more things are managed, more expectations are managed, and less things are presumed. The tragic bit is that most people that enter into any relationship presume most of the things that are in it, presume the arrangement. Remember, I gave you an example. When you go into a relationship, you presume that it's exclusive. You presume already. Most of the things that you have in a relationship are presumed rather than agreed upon clearly, openly, and communicated directly. So some people, just liking somebody constitutes jealousy. For some people, you like someone, that's perfectly fine. But what if you like and admire that person? Well, that's a different level. Some people that constitutes jealousy. Some people that says that's completely fine. What if you like, admire, and adore that person? Well, that's a very intimate level of relationship to that person. Your relationship to that person is that you like, admire, and adore them. Some people will say, well, that's crazy if you feel jealousy. I feel no jealousy over that. Some people will find that ragingly jealous-worthy. What if you like, admire, and adore them and you find them attractive? For some people, that's really constituting jealousy. For some people, that's okay. You like an actor, you like an actress, you like somebody famous, you like a public figure. That's completely okay. Of course, they're attractive. For some people, that constitutes a lot of jealousy. Now, what if you find them, you like them, you admire them, you adore them, find them attractive, and you find them arousing? The 5 levels. You find them arousing. You never ever have to do anything with them. Perhaps there's somebody that's not available for you to reach. Perhaps it's somebody famous, someone you like, admire, adore, and find attractive and find arousing. For some people, it doesn't constitute any jealousy because you're never going to communicate with them. You're never going to touch them. You're never going to really sleep with them. In real life, in your head maybe, in your dreams maybe. For some people, of course, a lot of people, that constitutes a lot of jealousy. Now, that is a closed relationship. A lot of things are presumed. A lot of things, it's sexual exclusivity. Remember, let me repeat to you the definition. It's individuals in a relationship that are disencouraged, and in fact would be a violation of their social contract if they were to indulge in a relationship, perhaps sexual, perhaps just liking, adoring, admiring, perhaps they just find attractive, or perhaps they find arousing with another person. Okay, you got that? Now, what is an open relationship, which is the exact opposite of that? An open relationship, here's a very clear definition. An open relationship is a relationship where you have with people where you're encouraged and insisted upon having relationships, perhaps even sexual, with other people. That is an open relationship. So those people who engage in open relationships, or quote unquote engage in open relationships, and they feel jealousy, they're not really engaged in open relationship. Those people who say they are polyamorous, what is the difference between a polyamorous and open relationship? A lot of people will tell you different definitions. Oh, this is polyamory, this is open relationship, this is the difference between the two. An open relationship is the original notion of polyamory, your ability to love multiple people. Polyamorous relationships most of them are closed relationship where they merely add to the primary monogamous couple. Rather than having just one man, one woman, they just add one person or one more person or multiples of people. But they're not open, they're still a closed relationship. So now do you have a clear understanding of what it is to be in an open relationship, in a closed relationship? So when you look at relationships around you, when you look at your relationships, is it a closed one or is it an open one? So what if you were interested in finding out more about open relationships? If you were to be interested in that, go to the link in my bio. It goes over the perfect relationship system. I talk about the primary fundamentals of having successful relationships, and it just happens to be the successful relationships, the one in which has the fundamentals of a successful relationship happen to be open. Because open relationships are based on fundamental aspects of unconditional love, open communication and non-judgmental acceptance, and no other format of relationship can have that, not even polyamory. And the three primary fundamentals of a successful relationship are those three, and I talk about that in other videos. So now you have a clear understanding of what is an open relationship and a closed relationship, and I'll end it at this. Remember, a closed relationship is not an open one, and an open relationship is not a closed one. Very important delineation. A closed relationship is where it would be a violation of the social contract if you were to be engaged in a relationship. Maybe it's not even sexual relationship. If you're just engaged with another person, depending on the persons in the relationship. If you like, maybe you like and admire, maybe you like and admire and adore, maybe you like, admire and adore and find attractive, or maybe you like, admire and adore and find attractive and find arousing. Whether or not you sleep with them constitutes jealousy for some people. Some people, that's completely okay. An open relationship is you can have all of those relationships. People you like, admire, and adore, and find attractive, find arousing. Whether or not you sleep with them, or if you sleep with them, that's completely fine too, because it is an open relationship. Any other format of relationship but just does not constitute that very definition is not an open relationship. Do you have any comments, suggestions for videos? Share them in the comment below. Share this video with other people so you can enlighten them. And I'll talk to you in the next video and explore more. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We're going to talk a lot about relationships and enlightenment. I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.